What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Rumpier Sports Hardwood Show, talking the Monday night 8-game NBA slate. And kind of weird because not a ton of news that we're waiting on. We got a lot of the news already. Obviously, anything can pop up and out of nowhere at the in the NBA at this point in the season. But as it stands now, nothing too major that we're waiting on. So it should be a pretty clean slate in terms of us going game by game and breaking it down. As always, on Monday, joined by my boys, Titletown, Big T. Big T, I saw on Saturday you made your way to that Kentucky Derby. Talk to us about it. How was that?
Yeah, it was fun. It was a last second thing too. I wasn't you know how I am planning, so it's always a last second.
Everything's last second in Big T's life.
I literally got tickets sent to me like the night before though, and then we just decided to go. But yeah, I mean, I've lived in Kentucky a decent portion of my life, never gone. It was fun to go for sure.
I saw you were with Big T Senior. Did he have anything to say about Hoopster? I mean, last time he wasn't thrilled with Hoopster because we took him down to the pits. Any cornhole talk?
He's still nervous. He's definitely nervous of the team. I mean, we went against the crowd. I guarantee they haven't been the same since that night.
They're devastated.
Title rooted against us. Title couldn't have been.
I guarantee it was with all those young bucks in the corner back there rooting.
Was he in there with them jumping up and down going against us?
I was playing my own game next to it. I was watching it. I wasn't rooting against you guys.
Oh, that was right before Title turned on us in MMA. Yeah, I remember that now pretty clear. Speaking of MMA, Title took down the FanDuel monster on Saturday night. Just needed a solid main event and went his way. Talk to us about that. It was a fun slate of fights for sure.
Yeah, it was an awesome card, top to bottom. We had a lot of good fights, a lot of good finishes, good mojo in the chat. We were in there in Discord like we are most Saturdays talking about them all. Couple unfortunate events with a draw, which you never like to see on a fight we had a lot of, but it broke my way. I needed Yuri to get the finish in the main events. I needed him to score pretty well too. It couldn't have been a sleeper because I had him MVP. Someone else had him in the other spot. I needed to catch up like 35, but fights went well. I mean, a lot of members made some money too. It's a little nice monster contest, nothing huge, but 30 people, 3K up top. It's always fun to take it down when you grind MMA every day, every week. Yeah. I always love watching tape, love doing the playbook and stuff. It feels nice to get in the winner's circle.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely fun. It's a fun sweat in MMA. I mean, Big T early on, you and I were kind of talking a lot of MMA. I've run so bad in MMA. It's absolutely incredible. I had some like sure like locked up winners and just crazy shit happens. Similar on Saturday, I was winning that 555 on DK and just needed who was the other guy in the main? I'm so bad with these guys' names.
Dominic Reyes to be.
Yeah, needed him to hang around a little bit longer. Would have won the 555. Didn't go my way. It's all right. Horse racing didn't go my way. I swear, okay. I live probably a mile and a half from the only racetrack in Michigan. I mean, walking distance from my house. We go there on Friday, Saturday nights. They have live racing. We go there, I don't know, a couple times a month. Over the course of the summer, we go probably 10 to 12 times. I do not think I have ever cashed a horse betting ticket. Like, no freaking joke. I'll go there, and what I do for every race is I'll just pick one horse, pick the horse to win, okay? Do it. There's like 8 races throughout the night, and I shit you not, no exaggeration, I have never cashed a ticket in horse racing. I put a little bit
number like a chick. What do you mean you pick one a race?
No. I pick one horse per race to bet on.
Not like the same number, like you actually look at
No. I got the program. I'm looking through it.
You had me worried for a minute, like thinking you're picking a number or something like.
No. I'm in there I'm grinding the program.
Okay.
I'm like talking to the old, the guys that know what they're like talking about at the track. I'm chatting it up with these guys. Never win in horse racing.
You might need to find a new group to talk to. I don't know if they know what they're doing.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's definitely a rough crowd, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, they have like $2 beers, $1 hot dogs. Got to get you guys up here, man. It'll be a lot of fun. Get the crew to a racetrack. We'd have a good old time there for sure.
Yeah, we need to do that. That's the next trip for sure. Get some golf during the day, some horsies at night.
Oh, it's perfect combo. Absolute perfect combo. What horse were you on?
Me? I was on the 15 and 15, 14. I didn't have the 8 or the 9 or anything up front on the main race. I had a few of the earlier ones, but did not have much success in the main race. Had a lot of beverages that day though.
That counts more than anything else in my book.
I called title up real sauced. It was all inclusive, so you could go up and get 2 drinks every time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Uncle, what do you call him? Big T Senior.
Big T Senior.
He was in shambles. So we should have probably not drove back, but we made it.
I got a couple calls from Big T. Definitely sauce. The best thing about Big T is you still feel like you're not mid conversation, but the conversation slowly ending, and this dude just hangs up out of the blue.
Oh my! It's incredible. I mean, it's honestly the most incredible thing. Like, okay, so I'll be sitting here talking to Tony, and I'll be in mid conversation, and the wife's sitting next to me. She's in shock at the way this guy ends phone conversations. So, like, I do the rebuttal to him now when I talk to him. You just cut it off and hang on. I mean, because you'll be literally, and if you never, most of you, I'm sure, have not talked to Big T on the phone. You'll be mid-conversation with Big T, all right? Finishing a sentence, talking. Next thing you know, he's just gone. He's like,
you look at your phone like, did I lose service?
Yeah, did you lose service? Did it get this? My wife was in awe. Jen was in awe the first time she caught wind of this. So I did it back to him one time. And she's like, that is so rude. Why would you get off the phone with somebody like that?
I agree with her.
No. I said, you don't understand how this guy operates. Like, it is every conversation just gone. It's hurtful.
It was only one conversation.
You can't be hanging up on people.
At least you get phone calls from Big T. Big T must have lost Hoop's number because, like,
he was just seeing if any fights were canceled. That's all.
Yeah. The only way he's calling people is to use them. Sounds like Big T nowadays. Hit that millie, and everything changes. They say money changes people. Look at this guy.
Gets on the commercial for DraftKings draft day. He's just a superstar nowadays.
Everybody's making fun of me. I mean, they're making fun of me on the commercials now. How slow I am.
He's too big.
I thought they were going to show the video of me tumbling on Title's drive. I might never recover.
With the music in the background, that would have been no. We can't do that to you. That'll still stay in Discord for the members. I won't release that yet.
Yeah, the crew, they're talking. Yeah, it's Northville Downs, right by my house. We gotta get a RPS gathering out there. It'd be a ton of fun.
Get you a winner in the winner's circle.
Yeah, maybe
Mojo.
Yeah, we gotta get him in the winner's circle for sure.
Get me on the right pony, man. It's been a while since I've been on the right pony. All right, we got 8 games here. Like I said, we got a lot of the news that we need on the slate. Before we hop into that, we got the promo going, RPS Heater 25. Gets you 25% off your first payment at Rumpier Sports on any monthly package that we have. If you want to do the DFS, be $80 minus the 25% off. You want to do the DFS and bets combo, which I highly, highly recommend. Be $100, 25% off. Got to give the boys credit today. One of the first plays they had posted today was the Nuggets -2. That was up this morning, and then LeBron gets ruled out. That's all the way up to 5.5. So our members had an opportunity to go ahead and lock in that Nuggets number, Nuggets -2. Like I said, it's since gone up to 5.5 with LeBron James being, which seemed very obvious. Big T, we talked about it earlier. We were just chatting, like, there was like no chance he was playing.
Yeah, I mean, when he leaves early last night with the game still in hand, there's no way he's coming on a back-to-back and playing. Unless it was just random. But, I mean, if you were watching the game last night, he was clearly bothered again. Whether – I don't know if it was as bad. It probably wasn't as bad as the first time. But even just a little – I mean, everyone that's had bad ankles that's played hoops, it's tough once that ankle goes bad. And he's older now too. So, again, me and Hoop talked about it right away with those Nuggets bets. People were ready to quit. Everyone isn't guaranteed health in the NBA. Like, you're not just guaranteed to be healthy through the playoffs. You're not guaranteed to get back in the mix. Kawhi last night springs up with, he's sore or whatever he's saying now. The path is starting to open up a little bit for the Nuggets when people are ready to bury them.
Nuggets in my eyes in my eyes, the Nuggets are the favorite to win. I don't care what the betting markets say.
For sure, the West, I like them.
They're the best team. They're the best team in the NBA right now, and I feel pretty good saying that. They don't lose anything. I mean, yes, you lose a little bit with Jamal Murray, but the way Porter Jr. is playing right now, it really softens that blow. I mean, he's doing what you need out of Jamal Murray to have those explosive scoring games, and that's what he's providing basically on a nightly basis. So I think they're, just as good to go ahead and make a strong run. And dude, your boy LeBron, what a fraudulent, phony piece of what. Now all of a sudden he doesn't like the playing thing. They got quotes from him, what was like a month ago, saying how it's great for these teams to battle it out to get one of these last spots. Now all of a sudden, your boy LeBron hates the playing structure, and that person should be fired, right?
Yeah, the LeBron slander. You always have the LeBron slander.
Oh, come on, you're not defending that, are you?
No, I just you always hate LeBron though. So anything he does, you jump on him. But no, that's obviously just him realizing that his team's sinking and he's not happy that they're gonna. If he somehow slides into that playing game, you got to win a couple. What is it? It's one game, and then the winner's kind of safe for a minute, but. What is the format's weird, right? Title?
No, my title. You got the format?
I still hardly know it. I know you, Mangone, and I were on a show earlier in the year talking about it. I still don't even completely understand it.
I'm pretty sure it's 7 versus 8, 9 versus 10, and then 8 plays so whoever loses the 7-8 game plays the winner of the 9-10 game to get back to play the other team. Oh. So it's like a quick little 2-and-out bracket, I think.
Okay, like what?
Not 2 or 2-and-out.
Yeah. So I know what you're saying.
I guess the 9-10 isn't 2-out, so just the 7-8 2-out. Because whoever loses the 9-10 game is done.
Yeah, we'll see. That'll be fun though. Either way,
it'll be fun if the Lakers are in there. Get
a lot of fun.
Team in there to battle for their life.
What about Giannis? What about Giannis sending KD out of the house with that? The only guy in the world
that on the wagon.
No, not.
Are you back in?
No, but they're gonna be. They're gonna be tough.
Tweets and stuff.
You don't want to, Tyler. We're not. You don't want to go there because you're gonna force me to take Big T's back in this argument and make you look like an idiot. You don't want to do that.
I know. I'm just saying. This is the best Bucks team that we've seen, but it's also if the Nets
did circle back.
No, you got a Buck shirt on too, don't you? I see that forest green. Is that a Buck?
No.
Hey, Drew Holiday makes them top. No, if the Nets have Kyrie, Harden, and Durant, they're winning it. But like Big T said, you never know with injuries, especially that team. Drew Holiday makes the team better. Giannis is playing a lot better basketball. I just that block what he did to Durant, I had to bring that up. But it'll be the playoffs are going to be fun this year. It's not going to be just two chalk teams. I don't think. I think we see some fireworks happen.
You really hate to see it. Like when, when you're younger, you grow up watching these teams and you're from the area and you feel like so committed to like your local hometown teams and they do you wrong year after year and you just can't get off. Eventually you get old enough and you just say, screw it. I'm done with these teams. You'll get there.
Well, someday. It's not the Pistons. We're not talking about the Pistons here. Well, the Bucks.
When I was growing up, the Pistons were great. The going to work team, those early 2000 teams, they're dominant. And then they refused to trade any of those guys, and they got bad, and it screwed them long term. And you gotta realize when it's time to hang it up, and you'll realize it eventually. Your boy Giannis is never getting you to the promised land.
I really hope it comes soon. I really do.
Big T.
Does title play when Coors gets postponed? Do you have to change your whole process for the
day? Today I just pretended Coors wasn't even on the slate because I had a feeling the news would break that way. Unfortunately,
I was hoping it'd break a little later.
Yeah, so was it confirmed?
The DraftKings can push the lock back again, like that one night caused havoc.
It's early enough though today where it won't cause too many issues. So let's go ahead and hop into this NBA slate. First game up, we have the Pacers, we have the Wizards, a massive 245.5 total. Washington favored by 4 in this game. Still waiting on quite a bit of news here for the Pacers. Jeremy Lamb's questionable, Brogdon's questionable, and Goga is also questionable. Jakar Sampson will be out on the Wizards side. No real significant injury news. I mean, the one thing that clearly stands out in this game is, one, Russell Westbrook, and the fact that he has his legs back now. It's fully confirmed. He definitely has his legs back, and he continues to just absolutely crush. The floor is so high, and just feels like Russ of, when was it, like 2 or 3 seasons ago, or just the highest floor guy by far. He's going to go out there and get you a triple double basically every single night. You're banking on about 55, potentially 60 fantasy points as a floor. And that's kind of where we're at with him at this point in the season. Just a tough fade, and a total that is sitting at 245, 246. The minutes in these close games are over 40, which is obviously huge. Just, the safest source of fantasy points on the slate. Very, very tough fade. He's doing absolutely everything and makes it very tough. I mean, we talked about it pretty much all season long. Like, you're looking at Westbrook, you're looking at Beal on this team, and that's about it. Now for me, it's like at the point where you can really only consider Westbrook. I know you guys had a little back and forth about the Westbrook Beal plays. I think Title, I don't know if you ever officially took the L on that.
Oh, I did. I
Okay.
did. He won that one for sure.
All right. You take shots at Big T early on, but then you got to circle back and start massaging them a little bit. So I had to throw him a little bone there. I couldn't. I made a couple pokes early on, but with Big T, it's always, you got to come back and jerk him a little bit. So, but yeah, it's Westbrook or nothing for me here. I mean, Gafford was a guy that we were looking at a couple weeks ago, but the ceiling does not appear to be there, and the price has come up. On the Pacers side, we really need to get this news on these guys. I think if Brogdon is in, clearly a pretty good play, but I would not overdo it here. I'd probably only play one of these guys if I'm playing Russ. So let's go to you first. Big T, thoughts here on this Pacers Wizards game?
Yeah, I mean, the Wizards have basically been the same all year. They started to play slightly thinner rotation for a minute, but now it feels like all these guys are, I mean, like Bertans, Rui, Gafford, all 3 of them feel like too cheap, but they just don't ever quite get that extended boot. I guess Rui for a while was getting almost 40 minutes, but now what has he been back? 4 games. He's played 31, 29, 22, 28. He hasn't quite seen the minute ceiling there either, but they do look cheap to me. And Indiana has played no defense. That's why, I mean, this total's a monster. Washington, and this is why I always turn into Big T 777, because Washington's always in the early game, and you can't fade Westbrook against Indiana, who plays no D. We'll probably get news on the Indiana side, and a bunch of those guys are going to be in play. But like Hoop said, if Brogdon plays, is Lamb even still questionable?
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah, still questionable.
And Goga.
I mean, so if all 3 of them somehow played, I'm looking at the prices. I probably wouldn't have much interest if they all played, just because it's going to eat into all. I guess you could place a bonus no matter what for sure, but yeah, we got to wait on the news on that side. For now, just Westbrook. You can always play Beal if you wanted to stack it, just probably not much ceiling at 9,500. And then those guys are cheap. I think all these role pieces below, I guess, Rui, they're all in play for me. They feel cheap. Like Gafford, I know we were on him, but 4,400. I think you could still play that. I'm not in love with it. Bertans at 3,700. Like, I don't hate that. He could get hot and show you a ceiling at that price. Rui, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm sure none of these guys are in play in like cash, but I think
I mean, but even in tournaments, if you're considering these guys, I mean, if you're MMEing, you want to create a rule where you're only playing one of them. You don't want multiple of these cheap Wizards guys, right?
Especially the ones that play the same like style position, like Gafford and Len. I mean, you're never going to play guys like that, but I don't know. Yeah, probably not more than 1 or 2 of those guys for sure. I mean, I'm looking. You could definitely play like Bertans and one of the bigs. So I guess 2 would be my max. I would never play 3, not counting Westbrook.
Title, what are you thinking here in this Pacers Wizards game?
Yeah, Westbrook on DK. I mean, I'm just going to play him at 11K. That's way too cheap for what he's doing. Don't need to talk too much about that. 11-2 on FanDuel, I still do like, but he's just a way better DraftKings player than FanDuel, with the turnovers hurting less, the triple-double and double-double upside, and he's more expensive on FanDuel, and you can only play 2 point guards. So not a priority over there for me. Still a strong play. He's always owned less. As far as the other piece in this game, I agree with Big T. I would just go to the cheap Washington people. Mainly Bertans and Gafford are the two that I like. 3-7 for Bertans, 4-4 for Gafford. Gafford he's always that GPP, very lower floor, but very high ceiling. If he gets 25 minutes, we've seen him go for like 45 DK points a couple games ago. If he only gets 17 minutes, he's going to struggle. I like this matchup against Indiana, though. They're going to need his size and athleticism against Sabonis. He's going to be very low owned. So I like those two on DraftKings if I'm going cheap. And then Rui on FanDuel is only 3.9K at small forward. That's just way too cheap for his role. He's a very good play over there. Like you said, for Pacers, though, we need Brogdon, News, Lamb, Goga, and all that. As of now, if most of them are in, I don't have too much interest in them. It would be like a Doug McDermott on DraftKings at 4K and just take the value. I'm not going to lock myself in too many of these guys if they're healthy, even though it is the highest total. But so there's some other better spots with injury news.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing here, I mean, Russell Westbrook for sure. Just very tough fade, especially on DraftKings. Huge total. I mean, that number is just massive, 246. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it goes over. Pacers just playing no defense at this point.
So the biggest, sorry for interrupting you. Looking at the slate, there's Wiggins and Steven Adams that lock at 7:30 Eastern. It depends, I think, because that's pretty solid news. I mean, Oubre's already out. If Oubre and Wiggins are out, Adams is out, Willie Hernangomez would probably start. That's pretty big news. And depending when we get that, if we get an hour before the game, if we get it at 6:30 Eastern, an hour before or 30 minutes before lock, then the slate changes where you're fine locking yourself into more of these guys, at least for a cash game perspective or ownership wise. Whereas if that news comes out right at lock, a minute or two after, you're a little more hesitant because some good plays could open. So that's, I always look at, especially this late in the year, always look at the slate, lock times, injuries, what could and couldn't happen. So just an insight.
Yeah, very strong point there. Before we move into the next one, do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Helps us to continue to bring you guys these shows on a daily basis. Like, subscribe, helps us out a ton. Next game, Magic Pistons, 211 total. Detroit favored by 2, which, I mean, that just goes to show you how bad the Orlando Magic are. But I mean, this game stands out because anyone that has any sort of NBA experience has basically been ruled out in this game. No Terrence Ross, Otto Porter, Michael Carter-Williams, Ennis out for the Magic. Then on the Pistons side, they've rested all their guys. They're resting all their guys again. Mason Plumlee, Dennis Smith Jr., Corey Joseph, Wayne Ellington, Okafor, Jeremy Grant, Magruder, and Diallo is questionable. It just still astonishes me every time the Pistons do this, and then you look at the roster and they still have like a decent amount of bodies. Like, I don't even know how it's possible. They must be playing with the COVID exception stuff or something, because they still have, it looks like 10 guys that are going to dress for this game, and they have like 10 guys listed out. So I'm not sure how that works. On the Magic side, they have all those guys out. A couple guys you can definitely look to tonight. Wagner, he's 4-6 on DK. He will be pretty popular tonight, and rightfully so. Played 34 minutes last game. Got you 36 fantasy points. Have to imagine that he plays in the mid-30s again here tonight. Cole Anthony coming off a really big game. Last time out, 50 fantasy points, played 35 minutes. He is a guy that, the price has come up a little bit on him, but he's by far their best offensive weapon here. So he should get a little bit of ownership. On the Pistons side, Josh Jackson's the one guy that stands out. I think he'll be pretty popular on the slate. You can look to Killian Hayes, better price tag on FanDuel. He's 5-2 on DK, 4-4 on FanDuel. Sekou is 3-4 on DK. If he draws the start, I think he's a fine value play. Bay, Stewart, Frank Jackson off the bench. He's been one of the more steady fantasy performers in these spots. So a lot of different ways to go in this game. Does have a low total, but these guys should be in for a pretty big role here. So Titletown, give me your thoughts on this Magic Pistons game.
Yeah, this game's just very hard to avoid. When the highest priced guy on the Pistons is 6'3", and the highest priced person on the Magic 6'9", and all these injuries are happening. I know it's a low total. I know it's two gross teams, but at the end of the day, someone's going to have to rebound, score points, and get stuff. So I have a lot of exposure and interest in this game. I'll start on the Detroit side. I'm just going to rank them since so many of these guys are in play. I'm going to go Josh Jackson, Saben Lee. If Sekou starts, I really like him at 3-4. If he doesn't, I would rather go with Killian Hayes. Diallo's still in play. Sadiq Bey. All these guys are in play. I mean, you can make a case for 6 of them. I'm going to wait for starters, mainly go with them in cash games. In tournaments, though, like if Saben Lee's coming off the bench, I think he's a very good pivot at 3.2K. And he's going to have a fifth of the ownership is Killian Hayes or Jackson, stuff like that, because people always go to the starters. Prices don't really matter. So I try and get a low owned guy in your Detroit stack in tournaments, whether it is Diallo and he's in, a Saben Lee. The most popular for sure is Josh Jackson, the Killian Hayes of the world, Sadiq Bey. They're going to start. They're going to play most minutes, most likely. I'm going to have a couple Detroit guys for sure, just because their prices. FanDuel, Killian Hayes does have a better price tag. Josh Jackson and Killian Hayes definitely stand out as the best play over there, but Isaiah Stewart's still good. He's only power forward eligible, not center, which is a boost. Sadiq Bey still 5.6K at small forward. I love the whole Pistons side. I really like. And then going to this Orlando side, it's not as strong of a side. Mo Wagner is definitely one of the top plays on DraftKings. Good play on FanDuel too at power forward. He's going to get a ton of ownership. Outside of him, though, I don't love the Magic side as much. They do have more bodies in the rotation, it feels like. Cole Anthony at 6'9". He has a ceiling. I think he goes overlooked in a spot like this. Probably that's where I keep it at. More so Detroit side, except Mo Wagner. He's the best play. Gary Harris, Cole Anthony, you can one off someone like that. Great game, regardless of the low total.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of different ways to go with all these guys being out, but I'm with you. I definitely prefer the Pistons side over the Magic side. Big T, thoughts here in this Orlando-Detroit game?
Yeah, I mean, I want to like these guys more than I think I do. So Josh Jackson's kind of one of the guys we've talked about in the past where I literally can't comprehend his projection that he gets across the industry. It doesn't make sense to me. He never gets there. He's always projected for way higher than I think he should. So if he's going to be popular, definitely not on him. I don't know, like these prices don't look cheap to me on DK. Not a single one of them, I think. Well, but until you get to Sekou and Saben Lee, they're in the low threes, like we always talk about. But like I've been on Frank Jackson, but I'm not paying almost $5K for Frank Jackson, 4,700.
No, I don't. He's the one I really don't like. Josh Jackson, I meant more so.
Guy, like all these guys are fine. I mean, the only two that I like are Bey and Stewart, just because I think they can do work, but their prices, I mean, I don't know. I don't trust these prices. So I think I might just be off this game. I'm just even like Orlando, like Cole Anthony's up. Mo Wagner's been in the 3Ks. Now he's almost 5K. Like, I just feel like they priced everybody up good. I don't know. Like, none of them feel cheap to me, just looking at the prices. RJ Hampton, I do like him being a young guy, but he's 4,400 even. I don't know. I mean, this game looks better than I think I like it. So
why would you play chalk if you don't like it too? I think that makes a lot of sense in tournaments. I mean, at the end of the day, they're not great basketball players. It's just I just feel like someone's got to do something for the prices.
I agree with it, bro. I think they're gonna do decent, but like, who am I scared of to just kill me though? Josh Jackson's not scaring me.
I do think it comes in lower than people think. I don't think it's gonna be mega chalk for the reason the prices are somewhat uncomfortable. I mean, these are guys that we were paying like upper 3Ks, low 4Ks for not too long ago. Now they're in this 5K range. Cole Anthony's up to 6'9". Outside of Josh Jackson, I think the rest of these guys have a chance to come in lower than we thought. And just to go back, man, I was reading some of these comments when we were talking about the Nuggets and just getting pounded. People saying that Nuggets aren't even a top 10 team. Giving me shit for saying the Nuggets are the best team in the NBA. If I had to put money on a team right now, I'm telling you, it would be the Nuggets, and that says a lot because I've battled my boy Big T for many years, calling his Nuggets fraudulent and predicting early bounces in the playoffs, and I've been right the whole way. And he can attest to that.
Early bounces. Title gets title.
What?
He always says this: the early bounces from the Nuggets.
Oh, yeah, they did get far last year. I mean, they were
the year
there
before. They went to game 7
and
like
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Because that was always your team, the Nuggets, always your team. Then they get bounced, and then you'd hop to somebody else. I know it's the same bit I talk about all the time, and you do that same thing. You face palm. Anyhow, we're on the same side now. I mean, come on, like forget about the past, okay? Let's forget about the past. We're on the same side now. Like we're both on the Nuggets. So
it's like in the cornhole pits, we come back to victory.
When Big T and Hoop collaborate and get together on things, typically it means positivity. And I think the Nuggets are going to win the NBA championship this year. I really do. And if you want to talk shit about it, that's fine. But right now, there's no team in the NBA I'm afraid of. I don't think there's any team better than the Nuggets right now.
Bucks.
Yeah, besides the titles, Bucks. I hope to God. You know what?
No, I'm not back on. I think if the Nets are healthy, they're going to be the best team. But the Bucks are looking way better than we talked about 2 months ago when I was dead off. I mean, they were awful back then. They're looking better.
If we get a Bucks Nuggets final, we're locking ourselves in Big T's house for a week and a half. We're going round 2. Okay, we're going.
I'm in.
A week and a half. It might not actually. No, it only lasts like a week because they
Bucks sweep.
Nuggets would sweep. All right, let's keep it moving. We'll hop into this next game here. Warriors Pelicans 236.5 total. Pelicans favored by 2.5 in this game, and we are waiting on some news here. Like title alluded to, Andrew Wiggins questionable. Steven Adams also questionable. Pretty significant news. But on the Warriors side, they're going to continue to be out with Damian Lee, Oubre, and Pascal. The Pelicans will continue to be with Hart and Alexander Walker. So we kind of need that news, number one. If Steven Adams is out, we can go back to Willie Hernangomez. The price tag's up, but I'd still be fine paying the 5.2 for Willie if Adams is out. And then if Wiggins is out, I mean, you'd look at guys like Toscano Anderson would have to play a ton. Mulder would have to get a nice boost. Poole as well. So bring those guys more into the picture. But the one thing that definitely stands out to me in this game is the price differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. The plays here, the main plays, Steph Curry, Ingram, Zion, all significantly cheaper on FanDuel versus DK. Steph Curry's 10.8 on DK. He's 9.7 on FanDuel. Zion is 10K on DK. He's a flat 9K on FanDuel. Brandon Ingram, 8.2 on DK, 7.4K on FanDuel, about as cheap as he's been all season long. So one, we need the news here. Two, the core pieces in this game, much better plays on FanDuel versus DraftKings. Let's go to you, Big T. What are your thoughts here on this game?
Yeah, I like DK. This pricing has thrown me off the whole time. I mean, these guys feel expensive. It's just like that last game to me, where I look at these prices. Like Bazemore's been good, but he's all the way up to 5,200. Poole isn't cheap. I mean, Toscano Anderson, I was like terrified to play him at 3.2. Now he's 4.7. Like, I want to fall out of my chair just looking at that price. Couldn't even imagine it. I mean, I guess just like the last game, like I would go all the way down to like Mulder, I think, just because he's way cheaper than playing the other guys. And we've seen Mulder pick up minutes at times. But, I mean, a lot. Like if Wiggins plays, I probably don't like anything in this game anyways. But hopefully Wiggins just plays. I know both of these teams. What's New Orleans? I think a couple games back, like this game could basically eliminate them. I mean, they're more than likely already eliminated. But
it's pretty much a must win for them. They have to win a game like this tonight to have a chance.
And honestly, they should. I mean, just looking at the matchup, whether Wiggins plays or not, what's wrong with New Orleans anyways? Like they have good enough players. They're just one of those teams. The pieces just must not fit at all. Like
so young.
I really think it's Van Gundy too. I think he's a really bad NBA coach. The dude that took over, I was listening to some local stuff here. The dude that took over for the Pistons said like Stan Van Gundy like set back their organization like a crazy amount of years because he's just so terrible.
Well, he's playing Bledsoe. You know he's terrible when he's doing stuff like that.
He's just not. He's a really bad coach. I definitely think that plays a pretty significant role here.
Yeah.
Did you ask me someone?
No, I didn't know. Were you done?
I don't even remember what I was saying. The chat.
Oh, well, just why they're so bad.
Big what?
We were saying why the Pelicans are so bad. I didn't know.
So
Yeah, I don't.
we didn't know if you Steph, nobody, or complete fade.
I mean, I want to see what Wiggins, but I'm looking at the prices. Yeah, I would play Steph. I would definitely rank Steph 1, but then you get to the same dilemma we talk about every time.
Yeah, I mean, how do you play
Westbrook
him
and Curry
over?
are on the slate.
Yeah, well, how do you play him over Westbrook or Jokic? I mean, they're priced like
It's
the
really
same.
hard to not. The only time Curry makes sense on these slates, because it's been somehow they're always on the same slate, is to fade Westbrook and play Curry. It's tough to play both of them. It just really limits your construction. So, yeah, I mean, I don't like this game that much.
Just poorly priced on DK. I think I would have liked to see even like $500, $600 between Curry and Westbrook. I think would at least. I mean, for me personally, it wouldn't do anything, but it at least give the field something to look at. 100. What are they? $200 apart on DK. Like I don't think many people are
The chat is
paying.
They're making me laugh too. I saw it.
What is it? What do they got?
Making fun of Big T again, like always.
About what?
Asking if his edible just kicked in.
Making fun of me.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been my fault too. I didn't know if you were done though, so I just wanted to give you the opportunity to finish off your point.
Saying it before that though, that's why it was so funny. Oh, it got me rolling. The edible play of the day.
Yeah, we might have to switch it up. I mean, the workbench, man. Is it the end of an era here? We're done with the workbench?
No, the workbench always makes a revival. Sometimes you go elsewhere, but you always make your way back to the bench.
Hopefully. That's the goal, right? I mean, if you're not making your way back to the bench, you got some trouble.
Yeah.
Title. What do you got for us in this game?
I'm still good with Steph at 10-8. This game doesn't stand out as much, but I think you can go Westbrook. I was messing around with some builds. You can go Westbrook, Steph in some. And I do think Steph comes in lower owned than we think because of that 10-8 price tag. Kent Bazemore, I'm still fine with at 5.2. I like him a lot more if Wiggins is out. If there's no Wiggins, Oubre, I know the price is a little higher than we've seen, but he's shown a lot of upside. If Steven Adams is out, Willie Hernangomez steps into the starting role probably again. 5,200. Again, that price is up a little more too. I don't think he'd be a lock, but he's sliding into the center role. I definitely would like him. You mentioned Hoop that they're better prices on FanDuel, Steph, Brandon Ingram, Zion. I definitely have more interest in Ingram and Zion on FanDuel. I think they're both pretty strong plays for the position over there. And the one tournament guy I'm going to keep mentioning is Lonzo Ball. He's 7,800 on DraftKings, 7,600 on FanDuel. And I don't think people realize that how good he is yet. Obviously he came in, started a little slower with the Lakers. He always has had all the criticism on him, but again, his last 4 games, 67, 35, 65, 43. He's playing 39, high 30 minutes. He's going to be 5% owned again because of the price tag. It's a 236 total. Sign me up for Lonzo in this. I like the Lonzo and Steph run back. I know it's pretty tough to do, but you don't even need Steph if you don't want him. Lonzo at that high price tag, I really like him again on both sides.
Yeah, should carry some pretty low ownership, I'd assume, on the slate that's pretty guard heavy, specifically point guard heavy. There's a lot of solid point guard plays. All right, let's move on to the next game. We have Portland, Atlanta, another big total, 235.5. Atlanta favored by 2.5 in this game. And the one piece of news that we are waiting on here is Norman Powell. He is listed as questionable. And our boy JT Hayes would be happy to know that it wasn't questioned, but it no longer is. Tony Snell is playing tonight. So Tony Snell will be in the lineup for our boy JT Hayes. Fantasy-wise for this game, as it stands now, Brogdon ruled out. That's pretty significant. Brogdon, Lamb, and Goga all ruled out. Right, that's pretty big for this slate. We'll chat on that in a minute. As it stands now for Portland, if Paul's in, I'm going to continue just to be off this team. Just too many guys that can produce fantasy wise. If Paul's out though, I think that brings CJ McCollum in a little bit. I think it brings in Damian Lillard a little bit as plays. Powell has been playing a lot of minutes, 36, 33, 39 minutes, 14, 13, 15 shots, playing a lot, shooting a lot. Most of that will just go directly to McCollum and Lillard. I think they would come in as pretty strong plays here tonight. On the Hawks side, don't mind going to Trae Young. He is a tier below those top guys. He's 9.4K on DK. Don't hate him. He's probably the only guy, though, for the Hawks that I'm considering. Title thoughts here, Trailblazers Hawks.
Yeah, on DraftKings, the only person I'm considering is Trae Young. I probably won't get there, but I think it's a very interesting, pretty sharp, very low owned tournament play as a pivot because the price tag's a little in a step tier lower. I mean, I wouldn't say he has the same ceiling as someone like Westbrook or Curry, but we know he has a big ceiling for the price, a solid matchup. The DraftKings prices, though, they're right, so I'm not going to have much exposure to this game. The best play is CJ McCollum, and that's on FanDuel, where he's 7,400. You have to play 2 shooting guards. Looked really good yesterday. It is a back-to-back, but I'm not too worried about it. They run these guys out high 30s minutes in a close game. So McCollum is my favorite. Power forward isn't great on FanDuel, so if you land on a Robert Covington or a John Collins as a last piece or something, I'm fine with, but not a game I'll have much exposure to.
Big T.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you look at the pricing, and we keep talking about the guards, but Westbrook and Curry and the big names. Trae Young might come in crazy low owned, but it's just hard. Like, these are the plays I've stayed away from all year, and it's helped me. I used to be on Trae Young more than I would have been this season. I just don't understand how you could play him over those other guys. Like, it's just – but in tournaments, it's weird why I'm like this in the NBA because I can always see it in other sports. But I just can't fade those guys, so it's hard for me to get different. I'm looking at the rest of the pricing. I mean, these teams got a lot of guys, both teams. Even Atlanta's got depth with all these dudes. So, yeah, I think I'm off here. I can't see myself playing Trae Young, so just I'll fade the whole thing.
Yep. All right. Just a reminder, guys, we have that partnership with SuperDraft. If you head on over to SuperDraft and use the promo code RUNPURE, you get up to a $100 deposit match on your deposit. We have a section in the core plays part of our website devoted to SuperDraft picks and plays. So head on over to SuperDraft, use that promo code RUNPURE. Also, we have the podcast with DC every morning. It's a first look podcast. He brings on a guest every day, and they break down the upcoming slate. So if you're getting your podcast on Apple, Google Play, or wherever the hell else, make sure you search the RunPure Sports Podcast and give it a listen. It's got a lot of good feedback so far, so go ahead and check that out. Next game, 76ers Bulls, 212 total. Philadelphia favored by 6 in this game. And, this is a back-to-back for the 76ers. I just have a weird feeling about this one. I would not be surprised if we get somebody, maybe Joel Embiid or somebody as a late scratch here. I don't know. I'm cautious about this game. If all these guys are in, Embiid, Tobias, Ben Simmons, for fantasy purposes, I have no interest. If we get the news that somebody's ruled out, then yeah, maybe I'll take a look at these guys. On the Bulls side, obviously we're waiting for the Vucevic news. He's listed as questionable. Seems like a truly 50-50 type situation. If you were to sit, Daniel Tice, Thaddeus Young would potentially come into the conversation here tonight. But as it stands now, not really looking to this game for all that much. Big T, thoughts here?
Yeah, I think Philly is one of those teams that they're just ready to get in the playoffs. What are the standings, anyways? Are they tied?
Yeah, they're in first right now.
Is it tied? How much are back are the Nets?
They're a half a game above the Nets, and then 3 games above titles Bucks.
So I'm sure they don't care, but you never know the motivation. I think these guys are just going to play normal minutes. They're not really going to – even last night, they went to overtime yesterday, right?
Yeah.
They didn't play their guys that many minutes. It doesn't –
They're in full coast mode, and Embiid's just lackadaisical out there on the court. They're not – like you said, they're ready for the playoffs to start.
They came out with a quote actually yesterday. Someone put in Discord saying pretty much to end the year, like they're going to have 11, 12 bodies that don't be surprised if any of the 11, 12 play. It's a situation I would definitely be hesitant on the rest of the year.
Yep.
And they play good enough defense too, where you don't really want to go against them. I'm looking at these Chicago prices. I just don't need it. We've done a good job all season. Like if we can play the Indiana-Washington game, the Detroit-Orlando game with the value, you play the easy pieces and just fade spots like this. At least that's what I've done. I see no scenario where I would want to play people from this game.
I'm with you. I mean, I think writing off the 76ers to the playoffs, I mean, yeah, things could change. If 3 of these guys are ruled out on a slate, then yeah, we're going to look up the 76ers. But on a slate where at least 2 or 3 of their main guys are playing, I'm going to have no interest. The Vucevic thing, this is a 9 p.m. Eastern game. Probably won't get the news at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm not building my teams waiting for this news. I don't think you need to do that tonight. Title, what are your thoughts? I mean, you're shaking your head the whole time, so I'm assuming you agree with us here.
Yeah, the only thing I could see myself doing is if Vooch is out, Thaddeus Young, he is 6,100, but he is power forward and center eligible. He just had 45 last game in 32 minutes. He always, not always, obviously, but when he gets the minutes, 30 minutes, he seems to more than likely crush his price tag. So 6,100, he has double upside on DraftKings. If Vooch is out, I think he's the play. Other than that, Sixers, though, I'm going to avoid them most of the year. They have so many guys that can rotate in. This is going to be a tough team in the playoffs. So, I don't think Ben Simmons is good, but as Big T, I don't know if they're you, Big T, they play defense. I mean, I think Matisse Thybulle's the best defensive player in the league, to be honest. I don't know if that's a hot take or not yet, but he plays defense. Simmons play defense. Embiid play. They got guys that play defense. It's going to be a spot in DFS and in the playoffs where I bet a lot of the unders in this game, and I'm not going to pick on them.
Yeah, and
I hate Ben Simmons as much as anyone. We've all been down on him, but his defense is definitely off the charts. I mean, he's probably the best defender in basketball.
I think Matisse Thybulle, man, this guy is so special. But they play him
the defender too, but he's not 6'10". Like
the best thing the 76ers can do in the playoffs is get the ball out of Ben Simmons' hands.
Yeah.
When he has the ball in his hands and they're going up against a smart defense, a defense that schemes well, he's completely useless, completely useless. They need to use his body size. They need to use him on defense. Him with the ball in his hand in the playoffs will be an absolute disaster for them. That's how it's been the last few years. All right, another game that's not all that appealing from a DFS perspective. We have the Knicks. We have the Grizzlies. 221 total. Memphis favored by 4. A standout value play earlier in the day was looking like it was going to be Taj Gibson. Nerlens Noel was doubtful. Well, they upgraded him to questionable. And once again, this game is 9 p.m. Eastern, so we're probably not going to have this news at the 7 p.m. Eastern lock. If Nerlens plays, it's going to be very hard to play Taj Gibson at 3-1. The floor was already pretty low. He played 32 minutes. Was that yesterday? Yeah, 32 minutes yesterday. Was only able to muster 12 fantasy points. To me, this just seems like a play that you talk about and you look over and Big T shaking your head and just making fun of you underneath your breath, considering Taj Gibson on the slate. On the Memphis side, not a ton of interest here. The one guy that I think, Steven Adams ruled out too. So we're getting some of this news to roll in here as we go along. The only guy I might consider, which is a dude I never play, would be Kyle Anderson, just on FanDuel. Small forward, 5.2K. But outside of him, I don't think I'll be going anywhere on this Memphis side. I'll go to you first, Title. What are your thoughts here on this Knicks Grizzlies game?
Yeah, the big news is Nerlens Noel. If he's out, Taj Gibson would be one of the best value plays on the slate at 3,100. The slate doesn't have a lot of value today, or not a lot of. I mean, that's why I like the Pistons side so much, is because it's just not a slate where there's a bunch of guys we feel great about. Taj Gibson would be one of my favorites if Noel is out. That's the thing, though. That's really big news on what you want to do with your lineup, because I doubt we get that news before lock. I just don't see it happening. So that's the biggest decision in this game. Outside of him, like you said, Kyle Anderson on FanDuel. Small forward is bad today. If you need as a last piece or something, I'm fine at 5,200. Nothing that really excites me, though. I wish I could play quickly at 3.7K. There's some games where he does get his 23, 24 minutes, but his floor is pretty much zero too, since they have guards in the backcourt. It's probably a game I'm just going to avoid for the most part. If Noel is in, if he's not in, like I said, I'm going to try and get Taj because 3.1K is just too cheap. 30 minutes.
All right, let's see how well I know Big T. Is Taj Gibson a laugh in your face type play? No chance I'm clicking that name, or are you on Taj?
I mean, usually I'm not on a guy like Taj, but for whatever reason, Taj has been one of those guys I've used a bunch this year because this coaching staff loves Taj Gibson. He just gets so much run here and there, especially when you got injury concerns like Noel playing. I mean, if he doesn't play, it's tough for me not to play 31, so I think I'm on the hoop side here.
I'm shocked. I mean, dude, 12, 19, 13, 18, 9.75. That's what you
but he's 3K. That's all I need.
I know. Hey, I know, but a lot of times these are the plays that Big T says you guys are crazy for playing Taj Gibson.
I kind of think he's run bad though, too. Just looking at some of the spots, like the 32 minutes, 12. He just didn't get in. No blocks, no steals. I know you can't depend on that, but like look at his bigger games. 2 blocks, 2 steals. Like he's shown some ceiling. I like Taj. We may ride with Taj tonight.
He's also dual eligibility, power forward and center. The slate's just grow like
we're all on Taj. Taj gets things done.
But the unfortunate part though, this game is 2 hours after lock. So if I was just kind of going through to see, let's say Noel's in, if there's anything later in this range that we could potentially pivot to. And you do have in that game before, Garrett Temple is 3.6K. So if you had Taj in the utility, Garrett Temple is going to play, a lot of minutes regardless. So I think if you build your teams and maybe have $500 left, you can pivot to Temple as a last minute option.
There's also like Niang. There's Caruso is really cheap. We'll get to, he'll be some popular. There's some cheap pieces in the Lakers, like if you need it to position. Yeah, Temple would be one of them. Yeah, you have to have a plan though. If you plug him in your lineup before lock, you have to have a plan I wouldn't play him without Noel, and I really doubt Big T would either. It's pretty much only if he's out, right, Big T?
I would.
Or you'd play him with him?
He plays. I'm not like in love with it, but he's gonna play no matter what. It's not one of these 3K guys where you're risking a zero. He's gonna get you like I think that's his floor, like 14, 15. And I think he's got a ceiling though.
I gotta disagree with that one too. That's a man going comment.
Yeah.
Well, what's the line then? Let's get a bet right now.
Oh, I'm just talking about the floor. The floor is much lower than 14.
Okay. Well, everyone's floor is 3. Okay, his floor is 3. Well, who wants to bet the floor then?
Well, floor outcome is what, 10-1, or like?
How do you quantify a floor? Like what?
A 3K guy getting like 14 is like the floor.
Oh, so I'm just saying his realistic floor. The realistic floor is in the single digits because he's done it in like 4 out of his last 5 games.
Single digit? Where's the single digits at?
Let me pull
let me pull it back up.
I will say, his floor, I think if Noel is in, his floor being the double. If you think that, then I would play him in the double. Yeah, if you're giving me double digits, even if Noel's in, sign me up. I don't know. I don't think that's a floor though.
Whenever you guys want to step in, then yeah.
Well, a floor outcome is what? A 10% outcome on the low end. If you give me 10-1
odds that he gets over,
it's 100%.
10-1 odds. Whatever line you guys say.
It's all contingent though on Noel playing or not.
Yeah. So what has to happen for me to get action?
If here you go. If Noel plays, okay. So if Noel plays, you're saying Taj Gibson 14 to 15.
You guys say like 4, so I'll take over 4, and I'll give you whatever odds you want because it's his floor. He could get it if he rolls 6.5. Maybe he'll get 4.
Yeah, well, that I don't say floor. I don't build.
Yeah, you froze up because of
him out. You got him scared.
There's a storm coming. That was the worst time.
His mom bailed him out and unplugged the internet. She saw he was chirping to Big T. She wanted to put an end to it.
The worst timing.
Any Grizzlies for you, T?
I haven't played the Grizzlies all year. Versus the Knicks isn't going to be the first time I do it. So I'm out on them.
All right, a couple more games.
You guys make me want to play Taj so bad now. That's what happens when you guys talk trash.
Like, first off, you know me and Title, like we are clearly playing Taj Gibson. Like that's not even like there's like no question. So I mean, if you choose to play Taj, you're riding with us.
Then I'm riding with you guys tonight.
Let's go.
Gary,
bring the gummies.
Single
cruise around town. All right, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Helps us to continue to bring you guys these shows on a daily basis.
Dodgers Cubs postponed too.
Phallic likes Obi. He keeps saying it in the chat. Obi. I don't know.
Oh, Phallic.
I don't know about Obi.
Phallic has played some dusty ass dudes this year.
Windler. Oh yeah.
he has played some dusty fellas.
OB.
You might need a new chart.
He's got the chant. He's trying to get the chat to chant it with him. OB.
Literally, everyone's just reading it like, what is this dude in chat talking about?
Next game, not the greatest for DFS purposes. Spurs, Jazz, 220.5 total. Utah is favored by 7.5 in this game. If we didn't get anything right all season, the one thing we definitely got right is being off the Spurs guys most nights. Tonight is another one. I mean, there's no reason to play this team. And, they're losing guys and still just not an opportunity to play these guys in DFS. I'm going to continue to fade them tonight. Jazz side, Joe Ingles, I think, is a play here tonight. Better price on FanDuel versus DraftKings, which should play into the 30s. Jordan Clarkson, I mean, these are the spots where he's typically exploded all season long with Mitchell or Conley out. Haven't really seen that ceiling from him. I think he's a good tournament play here tonight. I mean, he 3 straight games under 30 fantasy point. Maybe there were some blowouts or something involved, but he hasn't really shown those ceiling games. Niang is a guy that's been in play lately. 3.75 fantasy points last game out. That's the Taj Gibson floor that we were talking about right there.
Who on that show? I need a victory lap of that game because somebody was talking trash to me and I can't remember who it was.
I don't remember. I don't think.
Man, was it Mangone? Someone was all. I can't remember who it was.
What was the basis of the argument?
We were arguing about Niang being the worst player on earth. And one of the days I was arguing with someone making fun of him. Who was it? Now I need to remember. It might have been Phallic. Was it you, Phallic?
He might be hiding after the Obi chants.
Hey man, chat needs to let me know who I was arguing with here.
Yeah, they'll pop it up. Let's
title for 3 fantasy points that game.
3.7.
Oh, that couldn't have been Saturday. He might have gone for 15. It might have been the Phoenix game.
Title, talk to me about this game while Big T digs up the dirt.
Yeah, better prices on FanDuel. Joe Ingles, Rudy Gobert, Jordan Clarkson. I have interest in them all at the different price tags. They're gonna need the 3 main. Put them. Was I just breaking up again? There's a storm in my area. Yeah,
there's a storm coming.
Go hide in the basement. Hide in the basement. Take cover.
All right, I'll restart. Hopefully, yeah, I'm back now. Sorry about that. So Clarkson, Gobert, and Ingles on FanDuel. They're all stand out as good plays at all different positions. On DraftKings, the prices are better. I don't have as much interest. Ingles would probably be my favorite, but I don't want to pay like 6.6 for Joe Ingles on the slate. Niang, if we talked about if Noel is in, and Taj, Big T staying, Taj Gibson. If you need a pivot though in the later games.
Oh God, give me action on that title. I want Taj right now blindly over Niang.
Well, no, because if Noel's
out, you can't even take that. If you just said Taj has a 4 floor, you won't take that.
He does. Well, Niang has a
Taj smoke.
Niang has a 2.8 floor or whatever we just saw. I don't. so if Noel's out, Taj is gonna definitely smash him. But yeah, I mean this game it's an easy stay away. I think one of the Spurs might get there, like Patty Mills, DeJounte, Keldon Johnson, Rudy Gay, Lonnie Walker, but we always talk about it. One of them usually gets there. It's not worth just guessing though. So I'm off the Spurs. I like the Utah side more on FanDuel.
Big T, thoughts here?
Oh, the chat's got me dying. Utah Yeah, I think you can definitely go with Clarkson and Ingles. It's a good spot. The Spurs, you don't know what. So they just played last night, right? The days
Yeah.
all come together. So
It was
back to
after-
back for the Spurs, like you literally
Overtime.
never know what they'll do. What is it?
Overtime against Philly.
Yeah, so even more so, which could be a sneaky spot tonight for Utah. Clarkson, Ingles haven't shown us a ceiling yet, but just looking at the roster, and I think they want to play for this one seed too a little bit. I think it means something to them. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see a little bit of a ceiling game from these Utah guys. The Spurs, it is tough to want to play anybody, but we won't know until later in the night if maybe some of these guys sit. You just don't know who will play. So you would think because a lot of the good guys sat yesterday, they'd come back and play today. But who knows with Popovich? Who knows if they even want to get in the play-in part? You just don't know what they want right now. So wait for more news on the Spurs. Utah, I do like Clarkson and Ingles.
All right, let's one more game here. We have
Look at those likes.
Yeah,
Hurtful.
get in there. Tell them about it, Title.
There's over 600 watching. We barely got 200 likes. I mean, I don't. There's no other words that need to be said. They'll pick us up during this last game. I know they will.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do it since Title pointed it out. I mean, we got the plays of the day coming up. You got the Forex play of the day. You got the SO play of the day, and you got the workbench play of the day. We need 300 or the show's going to be done after this last game. So you better start pounding it. We'll just, it will just be a premium portion here. We'll post our plays in the Discord chat opposed to here on the video. So hit the like, hit the subscribe. Like I said, it helps us bring you guys these shows. Last game on the slate, got the Nuggets. We got the Lakers, 214 total. Denver favored by 5 in this game. And that number has come up, obviously, a little bit. LeBron James ruled out. If you remember at Run Pure Sports, you could have got that number this morning at 2, as we had it listed on our sheet here, our betting sheet. But yeah, that hopped up to 5.5 now. So on the Lakers side, obviously, no Dennis Schroeder, no LeBron James. Alex Caruso will be one of the more popular plays on the slate at 3K. Should start and play a lot of minutes here. Pretty safe option, I think. Another guy I kind of like, which might surprise you guys, is Caldwell Pope, 3.9K. He'll play a lot of minutes. They'll need him to score a little bit. 33 minutes, 32 minutes his last 2 games. So mid-30s, I think, is reasonable. If his shot's on, he can definitely pay off his price tag. On the Nuggets side, pretty much 2 guys for me at this point. Obviously, Jokic is a phenomenal spend. He has been basically all season long. Our boy Big T was on it before anyone else. I mean, right out of the gate from the beginning of the NBA season to now. Porter Jr., a guy that continues to get lower ownership than he should. I mean, he's doing everything you want. The floor has been right around 40 for the last 6-7 games without Jamal Murray. Flashed a 60 fantasy point upside. And as I said, I'm going to keep saying it. Chat was making fun of me last show where we talked about the Nuggets. Like, he has turned into one of the best shooters in the NBA. And when he misses, man, like those misses, he's just barely missing when he misses. You don't see like a bad Porter Jr. miss. Like his misses are just tiny, little, just barely nicks that rim and pops off. It turned into one of the better scorers in the NBA. So I really like Jokic, really like Porter Jr., Caruso. Caldwell Pope, all on my radar. Big T, what do you think here?
Yeah, I mean, Porter, I know right when Jamal went down, I kind of went on record saying he's got to step up. It's his time. He's built for this kind of stuff, though. He's been a top recruit his whole life.
The only out they had, man. The only out they had was him stepping up and being able to score, and he's done it phenomenally well.
Yeah, he's just the man. It's not even fluky. I was trying to pull up the percentages here, but I'm so bad at finding stats, I can't even pull it up. I know he's in the top section of three-point shooting, though, and it's not even fluky because he's not just a set shooter standing there wide open shooting. Most of his shots are like jump shots with dudes running at him. So definitely one of the best shooters. I agree with Hoop there. Tonight, you can definitely play him. I think it's more of a MPJ game than Jokic game. The only team in the league, literally, I worry about Jokic with, as one of Jokic's biggest fans, is Anthony Davis. He gives him fits just because he's mobile, can stay in front of him a little bit, and just forces him to pass and stuff. I'm not saying I'm off Jokic, but I am saying it's a much better matchup for MPJ tonight than Jokic. It could even be the type of thing where Jokic just knows that. Like, AD is going to be on me. Tonight I'm finding you. MPJ could score 40 or 50 tonight, real life points, I think, because the matchup is Jamal. Last year we played Jamal against the Lakers. Jamal's gone now, kind of like Hoop said. MPJ's the next man up. He's going to go off tonight, I think. So he's one of the better plays for me. And I might even consider a pivot Jokic to MPJ.
Love it. All right, Title Town, finish it off here. Talk to us about this Pacers-Lakers game, or Nuggets-Lakers game.
Yeah, first, hey, the people in the chat responded to the likes. So shout out to them. They absolutely crushed it. Got over 100 for us very quickly. We appreciate it. Caruso's the best play in this game. He's been priced on DraftKings, 3.7K on FanDuel. Just a very strong play. No LeBron. He's going to have to handle
Poor title.
the ball a lot, but on the talent.
That tornado must be getting close.
I literally just looked at the Zoom. I saw you frozen. I was like, oh gosh. It's pouring outside. It just said your internet connection is unstable. Just popped up on my screen. So I'll get through the show.
As he goes,
I'll get through the show. Jokic on both sides. Michael Porter Jr. is a fine tournament play. I know you guys can still hear me right now, right?
Now we can. But it was
Michael Porter Jr.
out like
you speak 3 words, then it shuts you off.
Caruso, Michael Porter Jr. tournaments, Jokic on both sides. I think PJ Dozier is fine on FanDuel too as a last piece. He's cheap. Otherwise, you don't need too much in this game.
Hey, while you're at it, lock in the SO play of the day. Who's the SO play of the day?
Lonzo Ball, going right back to him. Going to be very low owned, 7.8K. Very good game environment. I'm going right back to it. He got us a triple-double last time, 67 piece. Going right back to Lonzo.
Love it, man. I'm kind of baffled here. I don't know who I'm going to go with. You know where you're going, Big T?
No, I was waiting to see who you were going with.
All right, I'll go first. All right, then I'm going to go. Man, I had a couple guys I was considering. Oh man! All right, the 4X play. No, I got it. The 4X play of the day. I mean, we all kind of stroked this guy, and I still don't think he's going to have all that high ownership, and it's a lot of the reasons that Big T just mentioned in that final game. It's got to be Michael Porter Jr. I mean, 8.4K. People are hesitant to pay that price tag on him. He just crushes every single game, and he's showing the upside too. So give me Porter Jr., the 4X play of the day. All right, Big T, who do you got? Workbench play of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I like MPJ first of all too. Like it sticks off the page. The matchup tonight, man, I might have to just double up on him. I'm looking at the rest of these names. A lot of it just depends it depends on where you go with the Nuggets situation. If you go up to Jokic and you're already playing Westbrook, it's tough. Trying to find some guy I know. Man, should I just double up and go with MPJ with you?
Let's ride. Taj, MPJ. I mean, we're on the
only other guy is Lonzo. Like Lonzo, yeah, Prod Fresh, he did steal my guy. That's why he circled back and said he went first.
Do the combo. We can all be together.
I might have to go with Lonzo though. Lonzo last week on the show, he went for like 60 something for us. I think twice last week he did that. He's 7,800. I kind of want to play him with MPJ anyways. So let's just go. I'll go with Lonzo and MPJ combo. I like that.
Let's roll. Where we're at. JSU and Holden will be hopping on here about 4 or 5 minutes, part of the premium product. So head on over to runpuresports.com. Use that promo code RPSHeater25 on a monthly package. Gets you 25% off your first payment. We got to get off. Let those guys take over here. So for Title Town, for Big T, I'm Hoop. Good luck tonight in your contest.
Good luck, everybody.